What is happening? What's going on, YouTube?
The Mechanics.
Okay, so today's the day. Big things popping, a lot of bouncing, stopping. Now what I mean by this is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but look at some of the videos of my car in motion, it bounces a whole lot. So I hit up my guys at Top Tier Japan. They said that they got something for me. They said that they could hook me up, so I'm on my way there now. Fresh out of work, as you see, this blue shirt is on me as always. I did my research on the brand, and the brand comes from Japan. Ish, mostly sold in Japan. And I don't know if you guys know, but like TN, K Sport, Eibach, all the, I mean, I don't know about Eibach, but all the other companies, BC, they're all manufactured in Taiwan, basically. So, I mean, it's basically the same thing. The only thing that you're paying for really is the name and the color that's on the coils. So, I'm going to snatch these. I've never heard of them before, but we're going to try them out, see how they do, see how they perform, and yeah, go from there. Hopefully they're great. It can't be worse than what I got now. Top Tier Japan. Don't mind this crack. There's a crack in my windshield. But we're here at Top Tier Japan, y'all. So just left Top Tier Japan. And let me say, my man's there. Like, you run into people who own car shops, and then you run into car owners who own car shops. And just like HMO, they ship Japanese parts in and they sell them to the public. Only thing is, my man's here, he sells more than just Honda parts. It's Nissan parts, Lexus, JDM parts, Skylines, woo, not just Honda parts. And my man's owned more than just Hondas. Had an RX-7 in there that was just gorgeous. Like, he's a car guy, so I spent more time in there than I needed to. And when you talk to car guys, you talk to car guys. It's not real quick in and out. You're talking to them, and I appreciate my man so much for coming through. I ended up buying a rear strut bar, so we're gonna throw that on as well. And my man's flowed me some more goodies. So I mean, Top Tier Japan, you heard it here first. Go to them. Engine, suspension, rims, accessories. He's your guy. He has what you need. Go holla at him, okay? You heard it first. Holla at him. So what we're gonna do now is go back to mom's crib, roll the 240 out, and get cracking on the suspension. So this was the purchase. Rear Tanabe, I don't know how you say it. We're gonna say Tanabe. Rear Tanabe strut bar. We have limited to, they are called Final Connect, but they're spelled weird. I don't know, it's a Japanese brand, what have you. It's all made in the same Taiwanese factory. And some Cusco, these go in the front. I can't remember if they're called tension rod. Yeah, tension rods. We're gonna go with that for right now. Tension rods. They go in the front like this, and they stop, bump, so your wheel doesn't go back and forth like that. So this was the purchase. I'm going to try to slap all this on right now, and we're running out of sunlight. Okay, so before the sun goes down, basically took both wheels off, used my little cheater jack to get the car high enough to get the jack underneath, took both wheels off. These were in the trunk, yeah. So basically, before the sun goes down, we got two 12s right here and one 17 right here, and the whole coil comes off. Do one for you guys. She's out. She's out. This is a piece of trash. This is going in the trash. Yeah, this is why I was so bouncy. Do not do. Yes, very nice. Very nice. So, to reverse the process, basically all I've done, put the 17 on there, use my cheater jack to jack up the rotor here to get this to line up smarter and not harder. Since it's only me here, and I don't have a friend to jack this up for me or hold it up, this jack right here, this is gonna be my friend. So, it's in. Just like that. Button it up. Couple of those. So with this being said, I'm gonna go ahead and knock out the other one really quick before the sun goes down. So I hate working on cars in the winter time. It's 6:15 and the sun's going down. In the summertime, you be cracking on this car until like 9 o'clock at night. Sun still be up in Phoenix. I'm gonna go ahead, do the other side, button everything up, and then I'm gonna get the light mounted in the front, external light so I can see. Light in the front, and then I'm gonna put everything on the front. So the back is on. It's a little bit higher than I wanted it. I left my lock keys, the keys that adjust this, at my house. When I purchased these, I didn't buy the keys with these. He didn't have them, but I do have keys. I just didn't bring them. Don't worry, because I can get used to this and then lower it accordingly. Let the suspension settle, because it might have settled too high, and then when it goes down by itself, adjust from there. So for the front, as you can see, this is a no-no. I'm telling you guys, don't do this. I never had nobody to tell me not to do this. I guess because of how wide the coil spring is, cutting a half a link off is the worst idea imaginable. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 14 millimeters that come off up here. I already took one off. Take your strut bar off, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 17s, 2 17s to hold it, and this lock right here that holds your brake line. So pop this off, pop these off, this falls forward, and then take these off and the shock falls right down. Now, these coilovers are already adjusted to somebody else's ride height. I'm not touching anything except the dampening on them, which I turned all the way up. On the top, it has camber adjustments, which you could see is still set to 0, I do believe, and that's how I'm going to put this on.
A few moments later.
So ladies and gentlemen, car is back on the floor. Just a quick recap, this is what I was riding on. Takikos with, it looks like Eibach springs, and when I cut the springs, I took one coil off of this one and one coil off of those right there, and these were, the shocks were still good. It still had some travel, but the shocks were good. This one, blown. Blown. This is just ridiculous. Oh, that one's not blown. That one's blown. So 3 out of 4 shocks blown. Good, all blown, all going in the trash, as well as you. Now, being that this is my first 240, I've never really had anybody to tell me not to do this. Civics, you can cut 1 or 2 links out of stock springs or lowering springs and still ride comfortable. I didn't know that it was going to end like this, so unfortunately I don't know if you guys can get the gist of how bad my ride quality was, but it was terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Almost to the point where I didn't like driving it sometimes. So this was one of the steps I absolutely had to take in order to get in this car how I wanted it to. I'm about to go test drive it right now, but I can already tell that the stiffness it's there, okay? Just like my Acura, there's minimum shake. It's 32 way dampening, so I turned it as stiff as possible, and then 3 clicks back, so it would be 29, but it doesn't have no numbers or anything, but you know, go all the way until it can't go no more. 1, 2, 3, back. As far as that, it is a little bit relatively high. If I don't like it, I can go back and adjust it. It is adjustable coilover, so as long as I have my key, I go grab my key, I'll be able to bring it down. Other than that, I'm about to go test drive it. Unfortunately, it's nighttime, so you guys can't go with me, but I'm gonna give you a rundown when I'm done and when I get back. So, just took it on a joyride. 9-day difference. Like, it's amazing how it drives now. It actually drives like a regular car. It is a kind of high, but I want bigger sidewalls on my rims, so I'm gonna get that before I lower it. It's actually a functional ride height now. Got a little bit of wheel gap, but that's all right. Other than that, it rides fantastic. I'm so glad that I made this purchase. It needed to be done, and I'm glad I did it. Now I can progress with other stuff. I didn't put the rods on. I put them like close to where they needed to go. They seemed a little bit too long for some reasons. As far as suspension, the suspension is done. It's not dialed in, but it is done and it is in. So with that being said, I'm gonna end this video right here. Sorry it's short, it's just suspension, and it's not that in detail because literally the rear is 1, 2, 2 bolts up top, 1 bolt at the bottom, and the rear shock comes out. So simple, so easy. So I didn't really show you guys how to do it because there's hundreds of vlogs on how to do it. So with that being said, please subscribe, please like, please hit that bell so you get notifications every time I upload another video. And with that being said, peace, I'm gone.
The Mechanics.